All right, 7-4, adding mixed numbers. And in our book here, we got page 228. The book here, of course, has its own little methodology of how this is done here. You can read away, glance at it there. All our problems over here on page 229. First ones here, again, they kind of break it down step by step there, right? The equivalent fraction. So, number 4. We'll start over there. So, not planning to write all the rules out again. Shouldn't be necessary. The same 4-step process we used for 7-3. Sig, turn around. Face me. The same 4-step process that we went through for 7-3 is basically the same process we'll use the rest of this chapter here. Only difference, of course, is mixed numbers. So, if I was adding something like this, I guess you don't have to write this down, 41 plus 74, well, where would I start adding? Right, you always start on the right and just kind of work your way left. That way, if you have to carry over, if you're subtracting, if I have to break apart, if I had something like this, 47 plus 75, well, again, you'd want to start over here. 5 plus 2 is 12. You'd carry the 1 over, right? Because I got 12 ones, or 110 plus 2 ones. So I carry my 110 to the tens column. And then I go ahead, keep adding. 7 plus 4 plus 1 should get 13, right? So you always start on the right, work your way to the left. Same thing with fractions. We're always going to start by just adding the fractional component first. Same thing that we did in 7-3. Same 4 steps. 1, find the common denominator if necessary. This one, it's already done. 2, write the equivalent fractions with the common denominator. So steps 1 and 2 are done. Step 3, add the numerators together. 2 plus 2 is 4. Denominator never changes. And step 4, again, we could say it's still simplified, but we're not done adding. So 2 9ths plus 2 9ths is 4 9ths, correct? And then over here, go to the next place value. What's 6 plus 3? 9. Put it all together. What's my final answer? 9 and 4 9ths. Right, 9 and 4 9ths. Number 6, feel free to give it a shot if you want. 4 and 1/6 plus 2 and 3/8.
Why is it so annoying? I know. It's really annoying.
Okay, guys, shh. Okay, so again, I'm really, again, just starting in my place values here. I just want to add the fractional component. Yes, there's whole numbers. I can deal with them in a bit. But all I really care about first is what's 1/6 plus 3/8. So get my common denominator set, add it up, 4, 8, 9, 13, 24 is my fractional part. Agreed? Now, go add up my whole numbers. 4 plus 2 is 6. Again, nothing to simplify. Easy peasy. Look at number 9. 6 and 2/3 plus 7 and 2/5. Feel free to try that one. So repeat the process. I'm just interested in the fractions first here. I'm interested what 2/3 plus 2/5 is, so common denominator is 15. And then I get 10/15 plus 6/15 gives me 16/15. Now, at this point here, I've seen people go a couple different ways with it. Personally, I just finish my adding and then I'll deal with my simplifying after that. Some people turn this into 1 and 1/15 right now and write the 1 here and the 1/5, that's fine. But personally, I guess I just simplify at the end. Personal preference. So 7 plus 6 is 13. 13, 16, 15. So is the answer correct? Well, technically, yeah, I guess. Is it represented in simplified form? No, it is not. You can't have this improper fraction here. So what do? In a sense, what am I left with here? I am left with 13 because any mixed number is basically an addition problem. The whole number component plus your fractional part. 6 and 2/3, it's not 6, it's also not 7. Dom? It's not 6, it's also not 7, it's between those 2 points. It's 6 and a little more, 2/3 more, 6 plus 2/3. So in a sense here, this is the same as this. I mean, it really is there, because any mixed number is just an addition problem. But if I simplified this, like I'm supposed to, I would end up with 1 and 1/15. And again, I'm still adding that to 13 here. It's not going away. So ultimately, if I add this all together, my 13 plus 1 and 1/15, I get my 1/15. 13 plus 1 is 14. Should get a final answer when I simplify this to 14 and 1/15. So again, at this point here, when you get to all this, I've seen people just, rewrite it this way. That's fine. There's plenty, whatever your methodology is in order you want to do it. I've seen people get here and just instantly write 1 and 1/15, or I'll write the 1/15 and then carry the 1 over. 1 plus 6 plus 7 is 14. So any of these things are fine. Whatever you are most comfortable or how you want to simplify and represent. As I've said many times before, if you get to 14 and 1/15, I love how you solved it. I love it. So we may do some things at different orders. That's fine. But just try number 10. So this one they present in a horizontal form.
I don't like that.
You can choose to rewrite it if you want. This time we just have a whole number plus a mixed number. So I'm going to choose to rewrite it here. And again, you can do as you please. Again, if you get the right answer and understand how this works, I love how you solved it. But whenever we're adding here, of course, keeping our place values aligned. And for adding here, this step, is it necessary? Maybe, maybe not. But if this was a subtraction problem, 14 minus 7 and 5/9, I would certainly want to rewrite it a little bit. So the big million-dollar question is, how do I add this? There's nothing even there. And there truly is nothing there. But I could write it with a fraction. What is the fractional representation right here that I would write? What do I have? Huh? 0.
Over 0. Oh, no, 0 over 9.
0 over 9, right. And just like any whole fraction, I can write any, it doesn't matter. 0 of 1, 0 of 7, 0 of 100. I still have 0. I don't have anything. I've never changed it. So now, again, if you like writing them so they all have a value in place, and again, when you're subtraction, you'll probably want to do this, adding. But what's 0/9 plus 5/9? 5/9. 14 plus 7, 21 5/9. So up to you. If it helps you just to, again, have that template, that format in place there where all the boxes are filled in with data, then this is what you would want to do. Okay? And I've seen people go both ways with it. But when you're subtracting, you're most certainly going to want to do this. You'll see why when we get there in a couple days. Let's see. Why don't you try 13? And then I'm going to give you guys some. 16 1/8 plus 7 7/8. So optional if you want to write it in vertical form. Still, what would I do? I'm not going to rewrite it. It's your choice. Add the fractional component first. If you're able to do it left or right, awesome. If not, then rewrite it up and down. 1/8 plus 7/8 is 8/8. 16 plus 7 is 23. And then let's clean it up here. 8/8, that's a whole fraction. Final answer, simplified, 24. 23 plus 1 is 24. Any whole fraction where the numerator and denominator are the same value, that's a whole fraction. They have a value equal to 1. Okay? Good with that? All right. Ready? Here's your 8. So, 14. 12 and 7/10 plus 23 and 7/30. 16. 3 and 7/8 plus 3 and 1/2. 18. 6 and 11/16 plus 12 and 3/4. 20. 10 and 9/20 plus 8 and 3/4.
12. Do we write in simplest form?
Always simplify your final answer, yes.
It doesn't say that.
Yeah, at this point, it's just kind of assumed almost.
Okay.
Right.
60.
So again, take your time, please. Again, this is it for adding. We're on to subtracting. Very similar concept. You'll get to still work through the 4-step process, but I need you guys to be feeling good about this here. And I think most of you are pretty good with this here.
Oh my gosh, who was writing this book? I'm done.
Savannah, which one do you want to do?
In a good way, not like
Huh? For these 4 here, is there one you want to do? Right. Oh. Do you want to do one of these 2? This one will probably be a little easier. Which one? This one? Alright, so here's our sticks. Number 14 will be for Sierra, 16 Dom, 18 Sig, 20 Savannah.
Oh, it's right after school.
Whoa. 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 Easy to chew.
I don't chew.
Yeah, you do.
No.
You shot a turkey? Oh, you do.
That I did not chew the turkey.
You do not. Oh, you
Okay,
No, I
I'm gonna
shot.
shot girls.
And I shot a bird. Chicken.
Choose the right across the middle. There will be no warning shots.
Yes. I can go.
it's
I
like
got you.
4 people still working.
Oh.
I got you.
Okay, Sarah, you ready? Okay, so walk me through it.
So, the denominator you have to change 7 tenths and it would be 30.
Yep,
And then it'd be 21 over 30. The other one would stay the same, 7 over 30.
Yep.
And then when you add it, it's 28 over 30. And then the adding the numbers would be 34.
35.
85, and then when you simplify it, it'd be 35 and 14 fifteenths.
That's exactly right. Perfect. Well done. So, right, that one, first time we had a fraction that needed to be simplified. 28/30 needs to be converted to 14/15. No mixed number madness this time, but perfect. Just like that. Dom?
Okay, common denominator is 8. On the left one, it just stays the same, so it's 7. On the other one, it'd be 4 eighths. And then I added the whole numbers in, so, and I got 6 there. And then 7 plus 4 is 11. Then 8. That simplifies to 1 and 3 eighths. I mean 7.
Yeah, and then, yep, and again, you could write it a handful of different ways, and that's totally cool. So, different people just resolve this differently at different times, and that's okay. But if you got the 7 and 3/8, excellent. Yeah, good work, Dom. Good stuff. Sig, you ready? Okay.
Okay, so first I added like the whole numbers.
Okay.
So 6 plus 12 is 18. And then you gotta find the least common denominator. So you do 4 times 4, and 2 times 4, so 12 on the top. And then 11 on the top of the 16.
Yep.
And then you add the 11 and the 12, and it's 23. But you can simplify it. So it's 19 and 7/16.
Right. And again, all we're really doing, you can think about it this way, is we're taking one out and then we're putting it back in here, in a sense. A lot of ways you can do it, but yeah, that's good. All right, Savannah, what's my common denominator?
24.
20.
20.
So this one can just stay the same because it already is 20. So how did I get from 4 to 20? What did I multiply by? Right, so if I multiply by 5 down here, right, because you've got it to be equivalent, you got to have the same rule. Whatever I did down here, I got to do the exact same thing up here. And what's 3 times 5? 15, okay. What's, well, now I can go ahead and add. So what's 9 over 20 plus 15 over 20? Or what's 9 plus 15? Because the denominator's never going to change. 9 plus 15.
Give us your project, might be able to cut the handle off and use it for something.
24.
Okay. Yeah, you can toss it back in there. Okay. Yep, sure. What's that simplify to? Take one out, so I'd get 1 and 4/20. What's 10 plus 8? So I got 18 over there. So I got 18 here, and I got 24/20 over here. But then I got to turn that into a mixed number. Which we do, yeah. So it was the 1 and 4/20. So what's 18 plus 1 and 4/20? So there's nothing plus 4/20 is 4/20. What's 18 plus 1? So now I got 19 and 4/20. And then what's 4/20 simplified? I could, what? I can divide both of these numbers by 4. What's 4 divided by 4? So there's my top, and then what's 20 divided by 4? 5. And there's my final answer, 19 and 1/5. Okay, last 4. 23. 6 and 1/2 plus 3 and 1/3 plus 4 and 5/6.
Number 23.
25.
Oh, they're plus.
7 and 1/2 plus 4 and 2/3 plus 5 and 7/12. 27. 3 and 1/3. 2 and 5/8. 1/4. And 29.
So 23, 25.
Yep, 23, 25, 27, 29.
And. What? 14. Dom's looking like Okay, 29. Wow, very easy. Good for you.
And again, if you can do these types of problems, then you're exactly where you want to be with your adding work here at this point. So if it's a struggle, then it's not as good. Okay. 23, Brooke. 25, Damien. 27, Jackson. 29, Evangeline.
Okay, should I walk it through?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Quiet so I can hear Brooke, please.
The common denominator is
Hold on,
6.
it's still loud. Still hear humming.
So the common denominator is 6. So.
Yep.
And then first one's, the bottom one's 5, 6. The top one's 2, 6. And the top, middle one's 2, 6. And the top one's 3, 6.
Okay.
And then when you add them up, you get 10, 6.
Yep.
And you add up the mixed numbers, which is 13. And then you simplify it, and it turns into 14, 4, 6. And then you simplify it again, and you get 14, 2, 6.
Right. Yep. So at some point, you're going to have to simplify this one twice. Because you're going to have to, 1, get it into mixed number form. 2, you're going to have to simplify a fraction. So some people, again, at this point here, it's not, you could simplify your improper fraction at this point here. If I divide everything by 2, I would just have 5/3 here at this point. So you could simplify at that point too, and then 13 plus 1 2/3, I still get to 14 2/3. So it's kind of another example of you can do these things in some different orders if you want, but somehow, some way, you are going to have to get this into mixed number form, and you're also going to have to simplify it. So, but yeah, perfect. Damien?
Yep. Okay. So first, I found a common denominator, which
Yep.
was 12.
Yep.
And 12 goes into 12 one time, so 7 over 12. 2 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8, so 8 over 12. 2 goes into 12 6 times, so 6 times 1 is 6. Then you add them all up, and then you get 21 over 12. And then you simplify that, and you get, how did I do this? And then I simplified that, which was 1 and 9/12. And then I added the 1 to like the whole numbers.
Yep.
And then for the whole numbers I got 17. So then it was 17 and 9/12. And then I simplified that to 17 and 3/4.
Right. Right. And similar to Brooks here, again, you'll have to make 2 conversions. You'll have to simplify, divide by 3 at some point, and get into mixed number form. So, yeah, everything was good. Perfect. 17 3/4. That's what we come up with in the end there. Jackson.
Alright. So the common denominator is 24. So you get 8 24s, 15 24s, and 6 24s. And you add those up, and you get 29 24s, which equals 1 and 5 24s. Then you take the other whole numbers, and that's 5 plus 1 and 5 24s, is 6 and 5 24s.
Right. Yep. No need to simplify the fraction this time, but do need to get it into mixed number form. Somehow, some way, you need to get that 1 carried over to the 1's column. Good. All right, Evangeline. Butcher sold packages of meat weighing 1 2/3 pound and 5 3/4 pounds. Maybe they created math just to make people hungry.
No.
Well, didn't you remember the commercial about the Super Bowl
Yes.
created to make people eat? The pigskin where it all started. They showed it
Oh
back.
yeah.
A pigskin. Bacon. Bacon. Bacon.
Yep, I saw that.
Anyway, so Evangeline, Booker sold or butcher meat, 1 2/3, 5 3/4. What's the total weight? How do I figure it out?
Okay, so first I set it up like vertically.
Yep,
And then, so
guys, shh, I can't hear.
the common denominator is 12.
Yep, so addition problem. Find that common denominator.
For the first one it's 8 twelves, and then the second one is 9 twelves. And then you add that up, which is 17 twelves, and then 6.
Yep,
Over. And then that equals 7 and 5 twelves.
right. Yep. So 1 5 twelfths plus 6, 7 5 twelfths. There's our final answer. Questions?
No.
Feel good about adding?
Wait. Oh no.
Good to go?
Wait.